Scrolling through my Tumblr dash always make me pick up a million hobbies. Crafting, drawing, writing, you name it. I've tried my hand at a bunch of them through the years, but the one that stuck the most is cocktail making. I love it. I love learning all about different spirits, different ways flavors balance each other, and trying new recipes. But investing in a million different ingredients when I'm not sure if I'll like a new cocktail is risky. Which is why I love Shaker and Spoon, a subscription cocktail service that helps you learn how to make handcrafted cocktails right at home. Every box comes with enough ingredients to make 3 different cocktail recipes developed by world-class mixologists. All you need to do is buy 1 bottle of that month's spirit, and you have all you need to make 12 drinks at home. At just $40 to $50 per month, plus the cost of the bottle, this is a super cost-effective way to enjoy craft cocktails. And you can skip or cancel boxes at any time. So invite some friends over, class up your nightcaps, or be the best house guest of all time with your Shaker and Spoon box. Get $20 off your first box at shakerandspoon.com/diaries. Hello, truthers. I'm Lauren Shippen, professional writer who has an androgynous mind.
And I'm Cher McMullin, head of entertainment at Tumblr and Lanternfly assassin. If you know, you know.
Fascinated by that.
Lauren, I know you live on the West Coast, so you have not yet been haunted by the constant, the plague that is the Lanternfly. I don't know if you've heard about this at all.
No, I have not.
I know we haven't even finished our intro yet, but definitely something to discuss.
We're going to get to
over.
it.
Yeah.
Before we discover what lanternflies are, this is Dashboard Diaries, a podcast for you, the folks who are in this internet bunker with us. We talk about what's going on in our favorite hell site, get into what we like to call Tumblr, do fandom deep dives, and share the times when we've gone feral over a new ship. And because SAG-AFTRA is still on strike, we've been avoiding all discussion of TV and film, which is why we haven't done our week on Tumblr in a little while. But now I have to ask, Cher, what has your week on Tumblr been like? Has it been with is the Lanternfly? Is that a Tumblr thing? Bring me in on this. What's happening?
Honestly, I have not even thought to search Lanternfly on Tumblr, but for people who live on the East Coast, and essentially what's happening, few summers ago, we started getting notices saying, hey, if you see this bug around, the spotted lanternfly, which is it looks like a black and red spotted moth. They're beautiful. They're if you see these around, kill them. They're invasive species. They do not have any natural predators here, and they are multiplying. And so we started seeing them a couple summers ago. This summer, their population has exploded, Lauren. You can see it, streets will be covered in hundreds of them. And people have taken, it's essentially kind of everyone has been asked to seek vigilante justice with these lanternflies and stomp them out. And apparently in Philly, they really took this call to action seriously last summer.
Unsurprising.
And so this summer, they have far less lanternflies. Meanwhile, New York is a hellscape. And apparently so is Pittsburgh. Apparently Pittsburgh is having a really hard time this summer too. And so I'm seeing a lot of stuff. I think I saw on Instagram today, the What is New York Instagram account, which I follow, which just posts weird stuff happening around New York, posted this and was this is what everyone's dealing with this summer. And people were commenting, what is this? And essentially they are coming. They're coming across the country. Beware of the lanternfly. They're coming for you, West Coast. I'm so sorry. Stop them out if you see them. It's so bad.
This sounds terrible.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm looking at spotted lanternfly. Yeah, if you look up spotted lanternfly right now on Tumblr, the people are making dead lanternfly art. I see there's quite a bit of content here. Oh my gosh. Wow. Including street art that has a photo of a lanternfly with the word kill, or a painting of the lanternfly with the word kill next to it. There's one info post that has an animated text that says, I don't know what level of swearing I can say on that show. It says we can bleep me out if you feel the need to.
Well, we definitely.
That cunt. So anyway, yeah, spotted lanternflies are the nemesis of the summer for the East Coast, I would say.
This is wild. My whole family lives in New York, and this is the first that I'm hearing of it. So
really?
They need to keep me apprised of the bug situation there.
It is. They're overtaking sidewalks. I went to one of my friends this weekend, and they had a little gathering on their roof. And I got a text before from him, and he texted the group, "I have been up here killing lanternflies. I have over 100 kills." Like, it is.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous. And normally I feel really bad about killing bugs. I am not.
Yeah.
I rescue spiders in my home. Trigger warning. Sorry, Lauren. Like,
wow. Yeah. You're a better person than I.
But these guys, because they're a threat to the overall ecosystem, I think we need to pull a Philly and get acting. And hopefully the rest of the country can learn from us and not make the same mistake of not really taking it too seriously last summer. And here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't let them put down roots. Are you familiar with Alberta's rat thing?
No.
The Canadian province of Alberta has no rats. They have like 6 rats a year.
What?
Because many decades ago, they just decided like they were going to get rid of all of the rats. And they have like a rat task force. And people report in rats if they see them. And then they capture the rat and they take it away. And like people in Alberta apparently are so unused to seeing rats that sometimes the rat hotline gets calls about groundhogs and possums and things that are not rats because people are like, is this a rat? I don't know.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, that puts...
But it worked. They did it. They have very few rats. They technically have 0 rats, but obviously, some rats get in. Rats don't respect the borders of provinces.
That is wild and also really interesting because have you heard about the rat czar that was appointed in New York City?
In New York, yes.
Yeah, I wonder if Alberta was the inspiration there for the rat czar.
The rat czar.
Who has been... when I think of the rat czar, all I can think of is like the rats from the Nutcracker. Like that's what I imagine.
Yes. Of course, you think of Russian rats.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the normal thing to think of.
Like why the rat czar? Like
yeah, why'd they pick the word czar?
Right? Of all the words available to us, like that doesn't. I really truly. Eric Adams is just out here vibing. I don't know what he's really making.
Who knows what he's
I don't
doing.
think he's really making choices from like an informed perspective per se. More just kind of this is the first thing that comes to mind kind of thing. I think that's more of his
first thought, best thought.
Yep.
Well, here's the thing. So New York has a rat czar. New York needs to now appoint a Lanternfly attaché or something.
Oh,
yes. Lanternfly person. And then Tumblr needs to draw fan art of these two people, these star-crossed lovers, Lanternfly versus rats.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I love that
Tumblr,
so much.
Go out and do that.
This is relevant but not relevant to this. When I first started working at Tumblr, we did a scavenger hunt with Misha Collins on like across Tumblr. I think I've mentioned it before.
Perfect.
And one of the challenges in it was like both a scavenger hunt, but also like there were like, fan art challenges and things. And one of the things was make a ship post about the forbidden love between FedEx and UPS.
Oh, incredible.
And we got such incredible works of art from that. But that kind of reminds I feel like the rat czar and the lanternfly.
What's a good title for a Lanternfly?
Right? Like I'm trying to think of like an alliteration one. I'm like, what's Lanternfly lieutenant?
Ooh, that's very good. I love that.
So the rat czar and the Lanternfly lieutenant. That's a love story that I can get behind. I would love to be
one for the ages.
A part of it. And I think at some point in the love story, there needs to be like a huge, like it's a love story, but like it's also like an action and adventure kind of story because they are waging this huge war, right? So there definitely will be like a fight scene or some kind of battle between where the rats and the lanternflies team up against the czar, the rat czar, and the lanternfly lieutenant.
Have to work together.
They have to work together
to defeat the two evils.
Yeah. So that New York City can get back to its equilibrium of just like the average, the normal amount of grime that we're used to.
Exactly.
We need to get back. Yeah, we have like a grime equilibrium that really like keeps New York. And if it gets too clean, it's not right. It's not. It's not
You
the
know,
city.
and you have the cockroach colonel as like the
Cockroach
godfather.
Colonel. Oh my gosh, yes.
Saying like, you come to me after all these years.
You know that I am the lifeblood of this city.
And you ask me for help.
You know a cockroach can live for 3 weeks without its head. I put my head elsewhere. I listen.
Written like a children's book.
Yeah.
A very weird children's book for children about children of New York.
We've got the pigeon president. President Pigeon.
Of course.
And no, we still haven't even gotten to the main topic of Hobama yet, but we are.
We still haven't talked about Tumblr really at all.
I haven't even talked about how your last week has been at all.
I mean, I don't think it could top that. I mean, the Lanternfly can't be beat. But I do think we should dive into our old Tumblr weeks and do our dashboard confessionals.
I absolutely agree with you there.
So, Cher, what do you have from the archives this week?
I have a very pure post for the archives this week. Generally, I do a shit post, but I saw this one and I just thought it was really cute. So this is a photo that my dad posted on his Tumblr.
Oh God, your dad has a Tumblr.
He does. It's at Looking Crow because he likes bird watching, especially crows.
Following
now. And he posted this photo of him and my mom that was taken like probably at this point. I think I posted this in August 2018, so probably like, 25 years ago. And it's just like, yeah, it's just a cute,
this is so cute
little photo. It's my favorite photo of my parents, actually. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. I'll share a little, it is Dashboard Diaries after all. I'll share a little, diary excerpt there. So yeah, go ahead and follow my father. He is a photographer, so he has great photography.
I mean, this photo is beautiful, and I love that he hashtagged it with #mybeautiful_life, #love_my_wife, which is very, very cute.
They're very cute. I am still explaining to him that you put your hashtags in the bottom part of your post, separate from the caption. But, we'll get there.
You know what? He's learning.
He's learning, and I'm so glad he's posting. I'm so glad he's here. And yeah, please do give my dad a follow if you want. Hey, Dad. His name is Michael.
Oh, hi, Michael. Your parents are adorable. I cannot wait for all of Tumblr to see them. We will reblog that to dashboarddiaries.tumblr.com, of course.
And what do you have this week?
I have a collection of screenshots from the blog The Art of Fangirling. And it's just a bunch of different text posts that this blog has screenshotted and put into a sort of compilation with the caption, "What a Girl Wants According to Tumblr." It is a very popular, this is from 2015, I believe. And this is a very, very popular format for posts of that time. Or sorry, it's from 2014. It's from August 28th, 2014. And so exactly 9 years ago today. And it's just a bunch of posts that say, girls don't like boys, girls like well-written female protagonists. Girls don't want boys, girls want high-speed internet and dragons. Girls don't like boys, girls like the Harry Potter series, etc., etc., etc. It just sort of, it's a bunch of those. And a bunch of sort of like very fandom-specific things, like including like Teen Wolf, it's like, and Guardians of the Galaxy. It's extremely 2014. And I also think it's just like extremely 2014 in just the meme format, right? Of sort of this like, girls don't like boys, girls want this. Like it really speaks to like what the fandom world was like in 2014. And it's a meme format I haven't seen in a long time because I think that like we sort of like moved beyond concepts of gender to a certain extent. But I also could see people using this meme format ironically now. And so it just felt like a very, very classic collection of Tumblr posts that captured, to me, the essence of 2014. And August 2014 is actually the first month of the blog that I like currently have. My first blog that I started in 2008 still exists out there, but that's not usually what I use for Dashboard Diaries because I wasn't reblogging as much. I was mostly just like doing original posts. And so this was also what I was, reblogging to my fandom blog in the first month of having that particular fandom blog that I still have.
And it is such a slice of 2014. Like,
it really is.
Girls don't like boys, girls like dresses with pockets and Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, that is one of the most 2014 phrases I have ever heard in my entire life. Like, come on. It's they, and more, actually there's multiple Guardians of the Galaxy posts. And the second one being girls don't like boys, girls like Natalie Dormer and CGI animated trees named Groot. I mean, again, yes.
So 2014.
I love this.
So we are going to sort of stay in 2014 today with our main topic.
Love that.
Yeah, we're going to stay in 2014 and we're going to talk about Hobama. Cher, what was your familiarity with Hobama when I texted you saying, should we do Hobama for the next episode?
Lauren, you opened my eyes to a whole world, a Hobama world that I had no knowledge of.
And so you had never heard of this
I'd
before.
never in my life heard of this, which I can't believe that I hadn't, but also I'm like, I feel like it's kind of niche, but was it as, I don't know. Tell me what your experience is, how big it felt to you.
It is, I think, like a little bit niche in the sense that I think like in 2014, you were still in college.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And you were using Tumblr. How were you using Tumblr in 2014, would you say?
In 2014, I was spending a ridiculous amount of time on Tumblr. I was reblogging, like, almost hitting my post limit kind of multiple times a week.
It was like the nature of the reblogs.
I was very kind of aesthetic and kind of fashion focused.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of beautiful, like, scenes of, forests and cabins in the woods and like hot people and cute little outfits and like, inspirational quotes that are like, the best way to live the life of your dreams is to just start living, and like, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans, like stuff like that. Yes. That was my Tumblr from like 2012 to 2014. Yeah.
So yeah, that tracks perfectly for me, because I would say, yeah, when I first started my Tumblr in like end of 2008, beginning of 2009, I was using it to like blog about music and about like, posting photos of musicians and things like that. And then I sort of got into like the aesthetic Tumblr and did that for a number of years. And then by the time that I left college, I was into fandom Tumblr. And so I feel like that was like a very common progression for people who joined Tumblr in its first like 5 years.
Yeah.
You sort of joined for like music or photography or blogging, and then eventually you were sucked into the black hole center of Tumblr, which is fandom, right?
That is so funny, actually. The joining Tumblr to embedded in fandom, or like, to joining Tumblr to fangirl pipeline.
Yeah, is real. And I think it's a pipeline that like probably doesn't exist anymore, because I think that probably now most people who are joining Tumblr are joining it for the purposes of participating in fandom, because Tumblr really is the fandom website, but didn't really start that way, right? Like we sort of turned it into what it became. And so for me, by the time I started my current blog, which I will not tell you the name of, audience, I was like I graduated college, I was living in LA, and I was deep into fandom Tumblr. And so for me, Hobama was like everywhere for like brief periods of time, but like I don't think it like sort of breached the containment of like Tumblr fandom at the time.
Yeah.
And then by the time that like 2015, 2016 came around, pretty much the main part of Tumblr was fandom, that I think it probably would have breached containment. And actually, I think it did in the last couple of weeks, because the reason we're doing this topic is because of a recent tabloid article, essentially. And I was looking through the popular reblogs on Tumblr, in the Tumblr, like, I think it's still a labs tab that I have of the popular reblogs. Mm-hmm. And there were a couple of posts about this. And so it sort of has broken the containment of fandom, because now there is no containment of fandom, because Tumblr is just a fandom website.
Yeah.
Does that make sense as a thought?
I absolutely do think it makes complete sense. And you're so right. I mean, even Tumblr's kind of new, I don't know, mission statement, or kind of what we've been saying our real focus is as a company, especially from like the marketing and like the community side of things, is Tumblr is a platform for art and artists and fans and fandoms. And that can, if you are creating something, you are making art. If you are a fan of anything, whether it's entertainment based or whether it's trains, you are in, you're a fan and in fandoms. And so those are really kind of the two, I don't know, buckets, I would say, of Tumblr users.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that those buckets overlap a lot too, right?
100%.
Like,
fan
artists,
fan
right?
Fic.
Like, yeah, exactly. And so I think that something like this now has had a little bit more traction on Tumblr writ large, because everybody's sort of in fandom Tumblr in one way or another, right? So, but back in 2014, to take us back to like the origin of Hobama, as you might have guessed, this has to do with Barack Obama, the 44th president of the United States, and it also has to do with Harry Styles from One Direction. You may not have expected that part of the Hobama equation, but let me explain. So I think before we talk about Hobama, we need to like briefly talk about Larry. Are you familiar with Larry?
Yes, I'm familiar with Larry.
How would you describe Larry to somebody who like knew nothing about Larry or One Direction at all?
Larry is the ship between Louis Tomlinson and Harry Styles. I feel like there is so much more to say about that I am not saying. Can you fill in more information, Lauren?
Well, so I think at some point we should do an episode on Larry. I have a great book recommendation, actually, by the author Caitlin Tiffany, who writes about fandom and conspiracies and a bunch of other things for The Atlantic. She wrote a book called Everything I Need I Get From You, which is about fandom culture, but specifically about like One Direction fandom culture and how it kind of shaped One Direction, but also shaped the internet. It's a really, really interesting read. I can't remember if she mentions Hobama in it. I don't think she does, though she might. I'll check on that because I still have my copy. But Larry also had this like massive conspiracy theory sort of attached to it that Louis and Harry were in a relationship and their management was forcing them to keep it secret because they were in a boy band and it wasn't okay for them to be gay for each other and all this kind of stuff. We'll have to do an episode on it at some point. It really goes down the rabbit hole. There's a fake baby involved. It's a whole thing. So in 2014, there was a photoshopped National Examiner cover that went around the internet / Tumblr. I think it may have actually just been around Tumblr, really. National Examiner being a well-established tabloid, and the photoshopped cover was like a picture of Obama with like, you know, President Obama having sex with this man, and then like it was, you know, pointing at a inset photo. And I think like this actually may have been a real National Examiner cover because the National Examiner's, you know, it's a fake tabloid.
Yeah.
Everything they write is made up. But somebody photoshopped Harry Styles' photo into the like he's having sex with this man. And for whatever reason, Tumblr decided to absolutely run with this. Kind of a la Goncharov, right? A proto Goncharov, if you will. And so Hobama is the ship of Harry Styles and Barack Obama and their sort of star-crossed forbidden love of you know, the president of the United States and the most famous pop star in the world, and how they just want to be together despite, you know, it's sort of red, white, and royal blue-esque, if you will, before that book was written. And it was not, Larry was like a serious ship with like some genuine serious conspiracy around it. I don't know necessarily that Hobama was like poking any fun at Larry. I didn't get that impression, but it definitely was like for fun. Like it was not like, I don't think anybody genuinely believed that the president of the United States was having an affair with a like 19-year-old boy band star.
No. I think this is very much just a like a la everyone knowing that Goncharov is not a real movie, though of course we know that it is a real movie, and being fully committed to it being a real movie in the, you know, world of Tumblr, in the ecosystem of Tumblr. I think similarly, you know, this is just another version of like a fanfic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there are 32 fanfics on AO3, the last I checked, which is not a lot. Goncharov has way more.
Of course.
And I'm assuming, you know, a lot of them are for fun jokes, right?
Yeah.
But there was one post in particular that somebody had put together back in 2014 of, it's like a gift set of Harry Styles and Obama, and it's sort of, you know, set up in that way that was very popular in 2014. It was a very popular format to make a gift set with like, this was very common in Super Wholock, right? You take gifts from Doctor Who, you take gifts from Supernatural and from Sherlock, and you kind of pair them together so it looks like the characters are talking to each other, and then you put made up dialogue over it. And so people did this for Hobama. which I just love. And there was one particularly famous post that I'll be sure to reblog. And this had a resurgence sort of in the last couple of weeks because of another tabloid article that came out about Barack Obama writing letters to his girlfriends when he was in his like early 20s, in which he described having an androgynous mind and making love to men in his mind every day. The only like legitimate news outlet I could find that had written anything about this was The Independent, most famous probably to Americans because of a certain TV show in which there's a character who says, Trent Krim, the Independent, that Independent. And I'm going to let that one reference slide for context.
Oh, that's a good one.
But I don't know if these letters are real, if they exist. I don't think that anybody's seen the letters. I think someone was told about them from an ex-girlfriend or, it's like, it's all very tabloid-esque.
You know what? Androgynous mind does sound like something Obama would say. I'm just saying. It sounds very Obama-esque.
Absolutely.
And I also love the phrase androgynous mind.
Me too. It's great.
Yeah.
And so, the Hobama shippers have sort of come out of the woodwork to be like, we've won. We did it. Hobama is real.
Oh my god.
So I don't know what you saw when you dipped into the tag, because I texted you about Hobama, and then what did you do?
I mean, I went deep on the tag. I apologize in advance for the amount of posts that I have saved to the...
I can't wait.
To the Dashboard Diaries Tumblr. I dove in. It was all very much... like funny posts about it. The username, the Fablemans 2022 posted, "It's important to remember no one has ever publicly denied Hobama." There's a post from user Boots and Dagger that says, "Lewis tonight when Harry gets back to the hotel," and it has that "Welcome Home Cheater" banner meme.
Perfect.
The next one is Barack Obama's 2022 summer playlist, which did include music for a sushi restaurant. So,
oh boy, the clues are there.
Just saying. There was also a poll asking what everyone's favorite conspiracy theory about Harry Styles is. And at 40 points...
What are the options?
The options are, when a pap thought Mitch is a woman and Harry is dating, parentheses, he had long hair at the time. That had 5% of the vote. Harry is actually bald and always wears wigs, 17%. Mick Jagger is his real dad, 2.9%. He spat on Chris Pine. Ooh, I did. That is one of my personal favorites, 18.4%.
That's a good one.
My theory is he spat on Chris Pine, and Chris Pine was very much okay with that. Absolutely. Basically, the whole thing the whole "Don't worry, darling" drama, 10.6%. Harry is secretly Barack Obama's lover, parentheses, Hobama, 40.6%.
Perfect.
Anne gave him one of her cats, Evie, 3.3%, and something else, tell it in the tags, 2.2%. And that's from 1,191 votes. So,
incredible.
And I am looking through the tags right now, and they say, Hobama sweep. Since when is Hobama a baseless rumor? Of course it's Hobama. I still ship Hobama. Hobama always and forever. Hobama 5 ever. You can pry Hobama away from me when I'm dead and gone. Harry and Barack deserve a happy life. Hobama is timeless. Hobama forever and always in this house. Hobama, that's why Michelle nailed him in that dodgeball game. Like, that's
absolutely
and
incredible.
they keep going, and they're all the next. LOL, I have a Hobama lock screen and I'm not sorry about it. So just really, and the content was very much vibe-wise Hobama heavy, and also, or not Hobama heavy, obviously the Hobama tag was Hobama heavy. The Hobama tag was exclusively funny and kind of tongue-in-cheek and jokey. And I did see quite a few Lewis tie-ins, whether it was, I saw one that was a iceberg, and it said kind of like it said iceberg post Larry edition, and Hobama is part of the iceberg post. So yeah, some really interesting stuff in there. I had a lot of fun going through the tag, and I love a ship that is just pure for the fun of it, like kind of as a joke, which though they often, I feel like a lot of, like, I would say, gosh, I don't know. So much of shipping does feel like, I don't want to say serious because it is jokey. People have so much fun, like, shipping characters for all these shows and, making fun fan art. But it's earnest. Thank you very much. Because it's not like it's you can have fun with it, but also, like, you genuinely do want these two characters to, like, be together, and you see that love, and you, like, care, like, those like tender moments in the show are like a big, or title are like a big part of it, etc. Whereas, yeah, with Hobama, again, I mean, I think everyone would lose their collective minds if it became real. And like, yeah, if someone asked you,
oh my God, can you imagine?
That'd
like, all I would ever talk about again for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I would have brain empty, only Hobama thoughts. Like, I obviously, and if you ask anyone, even people outside of the Hobama fandom, I think you would 1,000,000% say people want this. But it is, I think, yeah, versus being the kind of earnest shipping that you see in so much of fandom, this is purely comedic shipping, and I love it, and I think it's excellent, and I want more Hobama-esque ships.
Yes, more, because I think it's like a meta fandom activity, right? Where like the fandom activity of shipping, like the main activity in that capacity is shipping the characters, right? But like the fandom activity within Hobama is having fun and making jokes together about a ship, which is like different than shipping, right? And I think that that's a very fun...
It's like a meme in itself.
Yes, exactly. And it's like one of my favorite posts was somebody asking a user named Help I'm a Goat, which is a great name, is Hobama real? And Help I'm a Goat just responded, Hobama is real and Hobama can hurt you. And like,
I love that so much.
I think it's like the commitment to the bit, right?
Yeah.
Like we always talk about that on the show because Tumblr's so good at committing to the bit. And I think my other favorite thing about this particular thing, and why I wanted to talk about it, because of these like recent, stupid tabloid rumors about Obama, is the institutional knowledge of Tumblr.
Yeah.
Right? Like this was something that people were joking around about in 2014 when Barack Obama was still president. One Direction still existed. Like Harry Styles didn't have a solo career. Obviously, American politics now are
different,
very different than they were in 2014 in many ways. Joe Biden is still in the White House. I guess that's stayed the same. But I think it's just so funny that like this was a joke that existed and that did not exist in sort of the main Tumblr ecosystem necessarily in 2014. But then like this thing sort of happens on the internet that's like distantly related to the idea of Hobama, and everybody who is still on Tumblr and has been on Tumblr for the last 9 years since Hobama is like, let's go.
Yes.
I've got the post locked and loaded. I've got the jokes. I'm ready to do it. And I think that it's that kind of like very, very few social networking sites have that kind of institutional knowledge. Mm-hmm. I think that aspects of Twitter did. I think the communities of Weird Twitter and Black Twitter absolutely had like, users who'd been on the platform for a very, very long time and who would make references to things that had happened previously and all that kind of stuff, because those were sort of the two central communities that kept Twitter interesting.
Yeah.
And obviously Twitter no longer exists and those communities have pretty much gone elsewhere. But, here on Tumblr, we're still digging up old jokes that like weren't even that popular to begin with. It was no feral hogs, right? Like feral hogs is probably a reference that on Twitter would have made sense even now, because everybody, remembers the feral hog day on Twitter. But like Hobama was not that. Hobama was not that big. And so I don't know. There's something really charming in that. I think that Tumblr's capacity to never let a joke die, I think, is very charming.
I completely agree. Tumblr is very much its own kind of, I don't know, civilization almost, or like we have our own like history and heritage and bylaws and, like essentially like you could have a museum of Tumblr posts of all the, posts that people, and, people keep adding on to posts as well that continue to come across your dashboard. I mean, I still see the "Do you love the color of the sky" post come across my dashboard.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that's what I love about Tumblr is it is very, once something catches on Tumblr, it doesn't really ever die. Like it's like the flame is always ready to be reignited, on any kind of like post or moment. All it takes is that spark and it's back, kind of in the front of the consciousness.
Totally. Oh, Tumblr never changed.
Truly.
If you had to pick a favorite fandom conspiracy theory, would you have one?
Oh, for Harry Styles or just overall?
No, just overall.
Oh,
of all fandoms.
Favorite fandom conspiracy theory?
Maybe it's something we think about and do an episode on. I don't know.
I think that's a great idea because I am like, I don't even know where to start. I'm like, okay, give me 5 to 10 minutes. I'll come back. Like, I'll come back to you after I've like really thought about this. But yeah, I think we should definitely do an episode on that.
Yeah. We can sort of bring a conspiracy theory to present to the other person with like, here's why I love this conspiracy theory.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I would love then, in that case, please submit your favorite fandom conspiracy theories. Send them to us. Let us know what you would like us to talk about on the next episode. I love that idea.
I think it could be fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to unpack there.
There are some good ones out there.
I feel like we're going to end up talking about so many more than two.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
This might be a series of episodes.
Yeah. We could do, once we have a list of the ones we want to do, we can do a poll, see where we start. I love using the polling feature on Tumblr. Anytime I have an opportunity, so I'm like, should I put this to a vote?
Should we? Let's see what the people have to say.
All right. Fantastic. I started but did not finish, Lauren, a Hobama haiku. So it only has 2 lines and they don't fit the 575. It just says Hobama, the drama, Barack's his world.
That is incredibly good. Shall we do our feels corner?
Yes, we shall.
What has you in your feels non-TV film edition?
Non-TV film edition of what has me in my feels this week. Well, one is a very, personal in my feels, but still kind of, entertainment related. There is this great DJ, Jai Wolf, and my friend who I actually met through Tumblr, because I, back in my early days working at Tumblr, worked on onboarding creatives, and he is a very talented kind of visual artist. My friend, ironically, his name is DJ Forte.
Oh my God, amazing.
Did the animations for 2 of Jai Wolf's songs, and a bunch of us went to Jai Wolf's show on Saturday and saw his animations kind of like come to life in front of us, and they're so beautiful. One is kind of a like giant robot like stomping, and the other one was very kind of like Star Wars, like a ship like flying through space and kind of a vortex.
Cool.
They looked incredible, and I just feel very proud, and was definitely annoying the people around me at the show because I kept being like, hey, my friend did that. He did that. And people were like, oh, yeah, okay. Like, let's
listen to music.
Yeah.
Cool. That is amazing.
So yeah, that's what has me in my feels this week. What about you, Lauren?
I am in my feels about the sort of joint activity of listening to something and playing a video game.
Ooh, okay.
This is something I don't do that often because most of the video games that I play are narrative driven. But every now and then I'll play a game in which I have to like grind a little bit, right? I have to like go around and like, build up skill points or go around and collect resources or whatever it is. And so I've been doing this a lot with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I've just sort of been going around and doing things and listening to podcasts. But this last weekend, I had a very weird pairing of I had finished the Burning Shores DLC for Horizon Forbidden West and wanted to upgrade all of my gear, which involved going around and killing a lot of machines and collecting resources. And so I listened to an audiobook while doing that, and the audiobook was called Hell's Half Acre. It's about the Bloody Benders, the sort of largely considered America's first serial killers. Who a family that killed a bunch of people in Kansas in the 1800s. And it was a very strange pairing of sort of listening to this book about an 1873's string of murders and playing Horizon Forbidden West. But it honestly was like a really good time, and I upgraded a bunch of my gear. I learned a lot about the Benders, and I feel better for it. So I highly recommend that particular experience if you play video games.
Lauren, your ability to split your attention to focusing on upgrading your gear while also like ingesting information is very, very impressive to me.
Well, to be fair, it's funny. I'm not, despite being a podcaster, I'm not great at listening to audiobooks. But so probably each hour of the audiobook took me about 90 minutes to get through because I would be like doing something in the game and then be like, fuck, I just missed the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I have to sort of like rewind and, re-listen to stuff because I'm just not used to sort of focusing on the particular like cadence and tone of an audiobook. And so my mind sort of drifts. But yeah, it was really, really fun. And I recommend it if you're somebody who likes to do multiple things at once. This is why I love podcasts and love listening to things.
Yeah.
Because you can do something else. Like I do jigsaw puzzles a lot while doing that. So yeah, it was great.
Love that. Wow. Also, I maybe I'll give it another try because I can listen to a podcast and do things no problem. I think I do a lot of rewinding still, but there's something different about an audiobook to me, and I wonder if it's
same.
The intention when a podcast is still kind of like very rarely, I guess, unless it's narrative fiction, is a podcast scripted, and even if it is narrative fiction, it's written to be read or said out loud. Right. Whereas with like when you're listening to an audiobook, every sentence is so intentional and meant to be read. And so I think like every sentence packs more of an information punch or something. I just feel like, I miss a lot more when I'm listening to an audiobook versus, listening to a podcast.
I'm totally with you. This was the first audiobook I listened to in probably 6 years. Like,
yeah.
And it was because I was reading the book through my Libby app. I got it from the library.
Love Libby. Big Libby fan.
And then I was like, shoot, I want to read this book, but I also want to play Horizon Forbidden West. What if I do both? And so I signed up for an Audible account for this month.
Love it.
And then
Porque no los dos. There it is. I speak no Spanish. I apologize. I'm sure that was very wrong.
And with that, I'm Lauren Shippen, and you can find me at thelaurenShippen.tumblr.com.
And I am Cher McAnelly, and you can find me at overshares.tumblr.com. This has been Dashboard Diaries, and
may your anons always be loving,
your dash always refreshed,
your gifts always be loading,
and your ships always canon.
May the fix you're reading always be finished,
and the answers you seek always in the reblogs.
Thanks for scrolling with us.